It's DaTru Chronicles, it's DaTru Chronicles. Yeah, we on your talking shit, we on your talking facts, we on your talking truth, we ain't telling no lies, we speaking all this facts. I'm a true talk, I'm a true talk, the true chronicles, the true chronicles. Just talking shit, just talking shit, just talking shit,
What's going on? I hope your day's been going good. Hope all is well. Hope you've been taking care of yourself. First off and foremost, thank you for tuning in to another episode of DaTru Chronicles. I'm your host, DaTru. Welcome to episode 13. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, give yourself a round of applause, because we are here at episode 13, which will be another good episode because we have a very interesting topic that we'll be talking about. But before we start the episode, I just want to say, if there are any new listeners tuning in, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Let me let you know right now that this is a safe space. Disclaimer, we talk real shit over here. This is a transparency, authentic podcast where we strive to be ourselves, and we just speak real shit, we vibe, and we just connect soulfully and spiritually. And here is a place for you to be yourself, always and foremost. You gotta be your fucking self. You can't be nobody else. Alright? So without further ado, we have a very interesting topic, but before we get into the episode and the topic itself, we must relax and get as comfortable as we possibly can. So you know how we do. If you got something, roll it up, pour up a drink, sit back and relax to hear some good ass real talk. So in this episode, and the topic I want to speak about is sexual energy. And without further ado, let's talk about it. Now, just to go back to episode 11 and in connection to that episode, where I stumbled across a conflicting issue that was expressed heavily in that episode, that where I spoke about my addictions and my troubling past with masturbation. And I got real deep within that episode, and just my past life period and what I went through, and what so many other people go through in the world, which is not an easy fight. The thing about the sexual energy of us as a people is that it's not the easiest fight that you will be able to conquer throughout your life. Most of the time, sometimes you will fall to urges, you will fall to have yourself in a space where you have no control. And I just want to let you know right now, listening to this episode, you're not judged here, and you're not somebody to feel as though that you lost in a way, or you have been defeated because you have fallen to the loss of energy, life force energy. Because when we talk about sexual energy, we're mainly talking about your life force energy, that being of a female or a male. And that is strongly what is emphasized behind sexual energy, because every bit of what is released from sex is self. You release more of yourself when you have sexual intercourse and you are within the spirit side of yourself. That is where you indulge that of your internal energy outwards. So there's where I had a relapse, and I came back to have an old nemesis find its way back to me, and I end up masturbating. And it seems it doesn't seem like it's real, being that I just made episode 11 speaking about how I conquered and faced a very huge conflict that has been over me for my entire existence here within this lifetime, that I fought. And I was pretty sure that I was not going to have that encounter again. But the thing about it is that your sexual energy is so powerful. And when there are forces, negative forces that want the life force energy that you have, when you now know how to regulate it away, they still find their way to fight for it within this lower plane of unconsciousness, within this lower plane of damnation. They will try all that they can to incite and bring upon sexual in favor. See, they will try to entice as much as they can through objects, images, figures, a sexual play out that will cause you to want to release your energy, because it feels good in a way when you release. And then we think about, when you release, why does it feel so good? Why does it feel so good when you release? The tingly feeling you get when you have an orgasm. Your body just feels like something just snatched your soul and spirit, like it just snatched. Just feel as though like your body's just been possessed, almost like something just grabbed you to where you feel sluggish after. Feel like you just had a split between the external and the internal. You feel your soul just leave. You feel your spirit just become weak. And I had an encounter with the low negative forces that came to conquer over me and had me release my life force energy to them. But see, this is where you are not defeated. You are not at all done. You don't have to live within that mindset of feeling as though like you're low and you're weak, to where you believe that they have you now. See, they can't play to you unless if you stay in that mindset. You stay to that mindset to say that I am of you to use and take from me as I am nothing. And I refuse to say that I am nothing. I refuse to say that I can feel comfortable with giving away the very essence of my soul and spirit. I'm not going to be, I will not fall into the trap of lustful energy to the flesh of my flesh. And this episode is strongly advised to anybody out there that are fighting off sexual demons. I urge you to stay strong, because it is not an easy conquest to venture through. Sexual energy is so much the target upon melanated beings and of other species on this planet. It is such a huge direction of target to those that have a conflicting issue with it, that will always have to have those demons hang around, waiting, seizing, but knowing that they will become thirsty when you show that I'm the God or goddess that literally can't fall to my Sxual, fall to my flesh, fall to the sexual energy of defeat. It will become so weak, it will become so thirsty that they'll just dry up and just move away. They can't be able to hang around and they can't hang around to stay thirsty for long, because they're going to have to eventually feed elsewhere. They're going to have to go and feed elsewhere, because they can't feed from your energy. Because they see how powerfully disciplined that you are to not give them any energy. The sexual energy that we all come to have, that we all come to reflect with, is that of so important to just be really sought to be used correctly. Because what causes to be preyed or have sexual energy be a prey upon you is where it gets you into a state where you release purposely for no reason. I believe in manifestational release. I believe in releasing for manifestational reasons, but purposely releasing is not. It's different, because releasing, just a release, is never a good thing. Because when you release, what you are doing is now lowering your aura field and now allowing to outside wonders to play into effect and to latch themselves onto you, to then cause mind control, then cause you to slip into a pattern of unconscionary ways that does not reflect self, that harms self, that leaves you to linger and possibly move into a pattern of that's unchosen by you indeed. It just takes one moving of a bad way to ensue a pattern of many. And that's where you have to repent and refuse the demon to house itself within you. Shrug away those low vibrational energies and let them know that you are not accepted here. because you are not accepted here. You're not perfect, and you know that you are a demon yourself at the end of the day because you are of darkness, but you are ran by the light that governs the demon of yourself. To not hang with the demons, to not sit with the demons, to not allow the demons to play and crack the light of self, of your higher self that is steering the path that will set forth where you are to go. And that is what is so important about our sexual energy, because it's the simple fact that when you are aware to know how important it is to not release just randomly, and when it doesn't mean anything to release, is where you find yourself to really see the importance of holding your life force energy and hanging on to it. As a man hanging on to his seed, as a woman saving herself and not opening her portal to allow just anything to come through her. Because you are a portal as a woman, as a goddess. You have the most important role because you bring in whatever you bring, you allow what is to enter into this world. You allow the soul and the spirit of another to enter into this world. As a man, he carries the seed that will shoot that through, to have that be the traveler that enters into the world. The roles of sexual energy must not just be seen to be used as a way to have the lower demons control it and operate it and regulate it, to have dominion and to feed on your life force energy. Because that is what will happen when you do things such as that. And I had to make this episode in a way of just simply explaining that I am transparent, I am authentic, and I am true to who I am. And I am not any better than anybody on this planet to even show you within skin, within flesh. I myself can fall. But the only thing is, I won't stay there. I won't stay on the ground. I done came far to fight the biggest demon that I ain't think I could ever fight. And as me being in a fight with the demon, it necessarily was never over. I had got a couple good hits in and thought I put it on his ass, but it got back up and it hit me and it had me on my ass. Now this is round 3. And from here, this is where there won't be no more getting knocked on my ass, excuse me. I fell short and I fell to my flesh. But as I am of flesh, I am 100% more of my soul and my spirit. And it is there where I must think of first, because that is where my energy lies. And that is what is the most important for you to see, that of sexual energy. It is of your soul and your spirit. Melanated beings and soul of human beings, the human species. It is of your flesh that you are, but the energy that lies is soul, or for melanated beings, soul and spirit. Let's bring it down. As you bring this episode to a close, I want to give gratitude to you listening. Thank you for tuning in. I also want to give gratitude to those out there that are conquering over and understanding more of the sexual energy of themselves, and knowing that that you are not perfect. Imperfection makes you perfect. You will have moments where you get knocked down. The difference is that you get back up and you rise up. I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of DaTru Chronicles. I'm your host, DaTru. Don't go nowhere. We have the instrumental of the day. Okay? I want you to sit back, relax as we close this bitch out and we set a vibe. And I will catch you in the very next episode. 1.
Godlow on the track.